Test. And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. In today's episode, we're going to run you through a few things. We're going to talk about a very concerning incident that happened in the Bondi terrorist attack at the beach in Australia, where the police seemingly stood there idle, terrified, scared, hiding, taking cover for a very long time, forcing the civilians to take matters to their own hands and go and attack the terrorists, disarm them, die in the process, and only later on engage. Even a heartbreaking story of a mother that was trying to steal a pistol from a police officer so she can go and save her child because the police was hiding. Again, these are testimonies from the people. I think the mother is this lady. I went and I looked through the pictures and the videos. So that lady and her husband, I think that's when they shared the story right after. And then they went on a podcast and they shared the full story. We're also going to go and hear a little bit about the background of the suspect. This impressive young engineer that came to improve the quality of life and diversity in Australia. By the way, his mother insists that her son is a good boy. There's a different definition between what maybe an Islamist mother would see as a good boy into what a Western person would see as a good boy. We all remember the story from Nova when there was a good Gazan boy who called his father to be so excited that he killed 10 people with his hands. And then his father, out of excitement, called the uncle and called the mother, and she started crying out of joy because her son killed 10 innocent civilians, including women. He was boasting about it, and he said, I got their phones, I got their pictures, and the mother started crying in tears. So I guess in her eyes, he's probably a good boy for what he did. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to run through some difficult videos to hear. I took the liberty to put them all together and to also blur some images that might be difficult for the viewers. I want to thank everyone that came here right now, and I will remind that's the first time that I do this. Do the like, share, subscribe, help this video grow, help this channel keep growing, and thank you for coming. I will do my best to make your time worthwhile as you visit the Ashka Show. Let's go.
He aimed, he did, he really take his time. He should take his time. And 4 policemen there didn't give fire back. I don't understand why. Why?
They're shooting us. They are on the bridge.
The terrorist is literally behind these chairs.
Idiot. Where's the fucking police? You fucking bastard!
He's shooting at us. What a bunch of idiots. He's talking about the police. A man that is about to die.
Can you tell me what happened?
Screaming. A man that is about to die usually doesn't spend his breath cursing the police. Unless you're cursing someone that you believe that could be the cause to your death, either deliberately, but usually you won't curse them. You run away or try to fight them. Or someone that have the capability to save you, have the responsibility, have the means, and that should be the intention, but he's standing there idle, terrified, freezing, or not doing his job, which apparently what happened there, they saw the police. There was about 4 of them that were seen. Probably there were a bit more all around. And as per numerous reports, and here's where it gets interesting, because I don't like to bash law enforcement. I used to come from the background of law enforcement on the offense and the defense, let's call it that way. And I know how easy it is to bash law enforcement. I know how easy it is to blame us for everything. I know how easy it is for people who have no clue what does it mean to be a soldier, to be a police officer, to be a security personnel. But then again, when you have several collaborating eyewitnesses from different directions, different age groups, different kind of backgrounds, some are local, some from other countries, some are men, some are women, some are elderly, some are secular, some are religious, and they're all kind of saying the same thing. The police was there for about 20 minutes. That's, the reports, the average, and didn't do anything. They were just hiding. There was even a French young guy who was a football player, I think, who said the same thing. So let's keep hearing.
There was two shooters, one on the bridge, one under the bridge. Just start to shoot for 20 minutes. They shoot, change magazine and just shoot. Simple as that. 20 minutes was 4 policemen there. Nobody give fire back. Nothing. Like they are froze. Like for it looked like 20 minutes. Like and they shoot. The guy change magazine. I look at him all the time. I was two of my babies under me, and I look at that. And it's just rifle and a pistol and just shoot. And the other one was under. They start to come close to the audience. I think one of the people took his rifle and shoot him. That's one of them.
One of the civilian, he's talking about a civilian that came, gassed the Jews. So if you're wondering why are you having so many Muslims in Australia that think it's justified to kill the Jews. By the way, they celebrated the same day that it happened. Is because they're going unchallenged, some way even protected by the government under the umbrella of diversity and, tolerance and political correctness, and they're chanting, "Gas the Jews." You see, every person in that crowd here, every one of these people is a ticking bomb. And there's more here. Every one of them is a ticking bomb, is a potential suicide bomber, potential jihadist, every single one there. These are war chants. These are Arabic war chants. This is, my goodness, these are terrorist flags. So Australia, you got your work cut off for you. And your police need to step up their game. So here is one of the main issues that you have. When you disarm a nation, and Australia did a very big operation to disarm an entire nation because they had a mass shooting in the past, and it shows that the solution is funny people in the crowd here, and they said that the solution is to take away the capability from the people to protect themselves. All right, so if you as a government decide that your people are not allowed or trusted to protect themselves, and that could be a valid argument. You can come and say, there's probably more chance for people to hurt themselves if we give them guns. So it's better to leave it in the hands of the professionals, the authorized, the people that we can have a follow-up, and et cetera, et cetera. So we only police and, Secret Service and et cetera. Then you have a responsibility. You just disarmed your whole nation and you took away their means to defend themselves. Now you need to step up your game. Now you need to make sure that, first of all, you don't bring anyone from outside that is going to come and harm your people. Obviously, they failed at that one big time. They're actually bringing Gazans and Palestinians. Let's see how that works for you guys. Let's see how that works. Yeah, let's bring more Gazans and Palestinians because you guys know better. Let's see how that works. And then you also need to be able to defend your people once you start getting attacked. And obviously, they're not doing that. Now, this goes for a very long time. They're chanting there, kill the Jews, slaughter the Jews. Here is the heartbreaking testimony of a mother who almost did something that could have costed her life, could have got her arrested. But you don't mess with a mother when she's trying to save her child. That's one thing we should all remember that.
Someone I knew saw me and said, "You got to get out of here. You just got to run." I said, "My baby, my baby, my baby, run. Don't worry, your baby's okay. My baby, my baby, my baby." And I got pulled and I got dragged. I was off. There were two policemen. One was hiding behind a car. One was a shot in the head. He was just bleeding from his face. Another one not injured. And I'm just screaming, "Where's my baby Gigi, Gigi, Gigi?" Everyone's saying, "Be quiet, they're going to come to us, they're going to shoot us, they're going to shoot us." I'm just screaming, "I don't care, where is my baby, where is my baby?" I'm trying to go. And this next thing I see is, I'm like thinking to myself, and this is where it's just so real and so disappointing in our government. These police officers were hiding behind a car. I tried to grab one of their guns. One of them grabs and he says, "No, I'm trying to grab for his gun." These men These police officers, they know who I am, and I hope they're hearing this. You are weak. You could have saved so many more people's lives. They were just standing there, listening and watching this all happen, holding me back. 2 police officers.
A mother that is separated from her child, a 3-year-old child. Apparently, he was protected by a pregnant woman that laid over him, and I think she got shot to protect him. Maybe I'm wrong, but someone laid on her child to protect him because he was separated. He was screaming, "I want my mommy, I want my daddy." So you're in a picnic, you're in a holiday at the beach, and all of a sudden, 2 Muslim jihadists start going around shooting everywhere, just shooting. Allah Akbar, Takbir, shooting, killing people with shotguns. You take cover. You see police officers, you run probably to them because that's, your people of shelter, your refuge. You think like, okay, if I can get there, they protect me, and then I can tell them I'm looking for my child. They'll go with me. They'll walk with me. We'll walk together, look for my child. And now she finds herself begging them to do their job. They're too afraid to do their job. And then she gets to the point that she's so frustrated, she reached to take the gun herself. Now, I don't know what kind of training she have. I don't know if she's a special secret agent Nikita, well, probably not. But I don't know if you've ever seen, even in the animals world and everywhere, human world, you don't stand between a mother and her child. They have supernatural strength. A mother that want to protect her child will move mountains, will lift up cars with her own hands, will go through a burning house and grab them out. And she was having that instinct, that motherly instinct. I'm going to go and protect my child. And who stood in front of her and stopped her from doing that? The police. Who didn't help her? The police. That would be frustrating. Put yourself in that shoes. I'd be furious. That's even embarrassing. And if I was that police officer, you know what? I'll be so embarrassed right now hearing this. And the funny part is that the head of the police in Australia, immediately after the attack, they didn't even count the bodies, went and said, our police did a great job. Well, first of all, good. It's good that you want to keep the morale of your police unit. It's good that you want to keep their back. I respect that. But I think that was a bit too early. And I think every serious organization, military, special forces, police, any security, any organization in general, who want to aspire to become better, who respect itself, need to have a genuine critical thinking mechanism, a genuine way to observe yourself, to audit yourself. Otherwise, you'll never get better. And if they don't see the problem here, that first of all, it was a Jewish holiday in a country that there's people walking in that country that came from countries where they marry 6 years old, where they have slavery, where they behead people in the streets and just boast around it, where they keep saying they want to kill everyone, where their terrorism is literally a startup for them. Like we Israel have startup nations, they have jihadist nations. Syria alone have about 40 different terrorist groups. 27 official, and under them like subcultural ones, and the most moderate of them are ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Did you know that? So the most moderate terrorist organizations in Syria are ISIS and Al-Qaeda, and the rest are more extreme than them. So you brought people from these countries, and they're going around your city saying, gas the Jews, F the Jews, kill the Jews. And then you have a holiday for the Jews that have been begging you, please protect us, guys, what are you doing? And you send there 4 police officers that are, untrained, unqualified. What do you think is going to happen? So obviously the police did a lot of wrong things there, and they should not be going around saying good job. But let's keep watching.
Where were the others? Not there. Nobody was there. Everyone, the public, helped. Nobody else. My little 3-year-old was saved by a pregnant woman who saw her crying and screaming, "Mummy, Daddy," running around while everyone was on the floor. She's lucky to be alive, and I know that today.
Wow.
Just so traumatic.
It was so traumatic.
Like we're celebrating
Hanukkah
Hanukkah, a
with-
festival of light. And, last night, we're observant Jews, but we don't often light Hanukkah candles. And last night our message was just we lit Hanukkah candles, and we just, around the world, we're just encouraging people to light Hanukkah candles for the victims that perished and the people that are in hospital. We pray for them, for their safety. There's just such carnage to see, and we just want, to bring a positive message out of this, that we can bring light into this world, and we got to get, fight this anti-Semitism, and we need to fight it full on. Like, how can we not be entitled to go to a Hanukkah event in Bondi Beach and be shot at like animals shooting at us like sitting ducks? Like, the government has to do more. They know there's a threat against the Jewish community.
They've got blood on their hands and they know it. They will deny, but they know it.
So someone wrote a very interesting comment here. It says, unfair comments about the police. That was by Gladys Shilton 1943. Unfair comments about the police. They carry a weapon. If they are reckless and get killed, their weapon can fall in the hands of the assailant. So like police, go forward carefully and strategically. 100%. Absolutely. The police need to be aware of his surrounding, need to be aware of his weapon, need to be aware of his situation, that he doesn't fall and end up giving the weapons to the enemy. But the police also needs to neutralize the threat. And when you have a father and a son, and you have 4 police officers, you can have reinforcements. You should have way more training than them. I mean, I've seen these guys. I mean, some people say that, oh, he knows how to fight. See how he's shooting. No, he doesn't know how to fight, guys. As someone who came from the Special Forces, I can tell you, he's not a fighter. He knows how to shoot. He probably went to the farmland and shot for a very long time, with this bolt action, kept shooting. In Australia, I think the rules say that you're not even allowed to have a shotgun. It used to be a bolt action. Have very strict rules about licensing, but once you have the license, you can get a lot of weapons. Like some people, I just interviewed today a Christian from Syria who lives in Australia. He says his friend had 60 bolt action, hunting rifles and etc. So that guy knew how to shoot and reload, but he was shooting at elderly and at children, at people celebrating a holiday, unarmed people. The moment that a civilian, see what happened is, he was taken down the moment that the civilians took matters to their own hand, because that's when the father and the son cracked. The father got basically beat up by another old guy, dropped to the ground. His weapon was taken from him twice. You'll see, there's another video here. Twice he had his weapon taken from him. And his son, the moment that he started getting shot at, started jumping like a bunny and moving back and forth sporadically, not strategically, and immediately, bam, got shot. Like, he's even gets shot and he stands up from the same spot that he got shot at. So from a military strategic way, we're talking about below level of amateur. Someone who played computer games will probably know how to fight better than him. I'm not joking. I used to be in the Special Forces, and I once took my little brother, who was 16, to play paintball with me and some of my friends, and he kicked some dusik there. He gave them a fight. He was 16. And why? Because he played a lot of computer games. He had some, this mindset of how to fight. He knew how to fight, and he had a personality-wise. He was moving all the time. He was changing. He was surprising them. That guy, literally got shot, ducked, went up, got shot again, ducked, went up, got shot, and got killed from the same spot. So the moment that someone brought the heat to them, they froze, they fell down, they started to crumble. Up until then, it was just a massacre, like in a chicken ranch. You're going and shooting anything you see around. So all that the police had to do is start shooting. If 2 police officers would have came and said, 1, 2, 3, go, pa, 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 start shooting, these guys will duck, a third one will run at them, they will be dead. I'm not kidding. From the distance that I saw there, I give them 7 to 15 seconds to stay alive. That's how I'd calculate it. I see how far they are. I know that in 15 seconds they're dead. Max. Covering fire, shoot from this side, go take them easy. These guys were easy targets for trained. But they kept shooting. And when did things start happening? Watch in the next video and you'll see. Things started to shift once the Australian civilians realized they can't count on their own police. And they took matter to their own hands. And 2 died in the process. There's 3 heroes we're going to talk about here today. 2 of them died in the process. 1 got injured, shot twice, but he managed to disarm. Watch one of these new videos that surfaced that many haven't seen yet. Maybe you've seen today because it started surface. It was, taken by a dash cam of a car. It's the purple shirt man that we saw laying on the floor in the beginning of the video, the drone video. Now you actually see why he was laying on the floor. Him and his wife, Boris and Sofia Goleman, they were among the first to charge at these people, and he managed to disarm one of them. He almost managed to stop the whole massacre. And we'll talk about that as well, and what he did right, what he did wrong, with all due respect to his act of heroism. But we want to learn here, so let's watch it. Oh my goodness, I just spoke muted for how long? Can someone tell me when muted? All right, let's start from the beginning. So,
Says crying,
I miss it was too.
oh my
And
goodness.
blood on it.
So watch this. This man here, 3 minutes. Oh my God, about a minute. This man here with the purple shirt. Some of you might seen him when the drone image, when the beginning of the fighting came, and there was a body of a man and his wife laying on the floor. That's him. This man alone and his wife almost stopped the entire terrorist attack. Their name is Boris and Sofia Gulman. They're heroes. They saw the attacker coming out of his car. I guess they saw, and you'll see there's an ISIS flag big on the car, so maybe wait. You guys still don't hear me? Can you guys hear me now? If you can, write something. Sound is okay. All right, perfect. So he saw the car coming back, and he apparently saw an ISIS flag, and then he jumped on the guy. Now watch this. He tackles him. Look at the video here. And he takes his gun. Right now, he grabbed his gun from his hand. They're rolling on the ground. He grabs the gun from his hand, the beginning of the attack. Just when they stepped out of the car, they haven't started shooting. You see, people haven't started running. Only now they're starting to run. And then he goes and he hits him with the wife there, both of them. Boris and Sofia went bar mitzvah on this guy. They started beating the crap out of this father, this, amateur. And then the son goes out apparently and shoots him. You see this ISIS flag? There is literally an ISIS flag on this car. So maybe that's what gave it away for Boris to realize that something is happening there. And he went and he immediately just jumped on the guy and started fighting with him before he starts shooting. Now, they might have foiled a much bigger attack. You see, these guys, from the reports that we know, they had about 6 IEDs, I think. They had several improvised explosive devices in the car. So they were planning on probably going and placing them in different locations to create some kind of, if they had a strategy, and I'm sure they did, to create some kind of a panic, funnel everybody to a certain place, and then blow it up on them. The level of damage they could have done is insane. But because of Boris and Sofia, they must have panicked in the beginning. Things didn't work their way. They almost lost. Everything was almost canceled because Boris was able to drop him down to the ground and take the gun from his hand. And then the battle starts. The son comes out, shoots, I guess, and managed to kill Boris and his wife. But see, everybody here could have been an easy target. Look at him, how he's grabbing the gun. He's basically trying to hit him. He's holding the gun backwards and trying to hit him like in a baseball bat. Now, this is the ISIS flag that I told you about. Crazy. Driving with an ISIS flag in your car, swearing allegiance to a terrorist state, enemy of the West, basically. Now, that is why I strongly recommend every man and woman, especially if you're living in Australia right now, because you're going to have more of these things, have some basic Krav Maga lessons. Have some basic firearm training. Have some basic trainings of how to disarm a person. Because you see, if Boris would have there, and again, with all due respect to this hero, to this legend, we can only salute him. We can only say thank you for his act of heroism. He saved many lives. But if he would have taken that gun and flipped it and grabbed it, chick, chick, boom, down. These two are down immediately. Battle finished. One bullet, bam, ducks over, bam, go under the car, shoot his leg. So many things you can do to him. Done. Finished the whole terror attack in a second. He had the chance. He had the gun in his hand. The guy was on the ground, and the gun was most likely locked and loaded, ready to fight. You don't come out as a terrorist with an unloaded gun and start, building it like a sniper rifle on the roof. You come out with intention to start shooting immediately. So he took the gun and did not use it. That's strike number one that we saw here, because later on, Ahmed al-Ahmed did the same mistake. He managed to sneak. Again, all of these things happened, by the way, once the civilians saw that the police was not doing their job. They literally the first one was instinctively, automatically, but the second one, they started charging, and later on, only the police got involved. So,
we take...
To finish, before we go to this bozo here, to finish the whole thing here, if you're living in the West, if you're living in a place that tolerate pro-Palestine movements, that try to shove down your throat that diversity, is the right way to go when it comes to radical Islam. Diversity is great, guys, but not with radical Islam. Then, undoubtedly, you need to start having plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, how to defend yourself, how to defend your family, and how to make sure that if, God forbid, you're in a situation like that and you have no other option, then at least you increase your chance of fighting. And trust me, guys, the moment that you took the weapon from the hand of a terrorist, you want to finish it. As much as we all like to praise Ahmed al-Ahmed, and he did an amazing job, he ended up letting the guy walk back. And when he went back, you can see the father actually grabbed another gun and started shooting over his head. So I don't know if he managed to kill another person on the way back, but he could have. So when you let go of a terrorist, you're actually allowing him to go and kill more people. So there is also a moral question about when do you stop? And the real answer, the easy answer, is you subdue him, you stop him, you make sure that he can't go and kill anyone else. Whatever means necessary, you're saving lives here. So if you can stop him without the use of violence, great. If you can stop him with the use of minimal violence, great. If you need to increase it more and more, then you have to do it. Otherwise, he's going to go and kill other people just like he tried there. Now, after everything that we saw here, the Prime Minister of Australia goes out, and this is his conclusion. Whoop. Okay. And this is his conclusion. He goes and he decides that the real enemy of Australia is right-wing extremist groups. That is, guys, the first sign that you know that you don't have real strong leadership, when they can't even call out the problem because they're too afraid, too woke, too brainwashed, or working for the other team. Because it's obvious. It's obvious beyond no doubt what is the problem here. The problem here is not white men. You had white men for many, many years. They didn't go to the beach, shout Allah Akbar, and started shooting innocent people. But listen to what he said.
ASIO's advice very seriously. We work closely with them. We receive regular updates as well. The Director General of ASIO has warned about a range of threats, be it anti-Semitism, the rise of right-wing extremist groups as well. And we continue to work closely with our security agencies.
My dear father, Reuven Morrison.
So, lack of words means sometimes what someone doesn't say means way more than what he says, especially when it's obvious. Give you an example. October 7, there were Jewish women, Israeli women in general, Christian as well, and others, that were mutilated, violated in the most horrific way by the most disgusting kind of human beings. Feminists, Me Too movements didn't say a word. Now, yes, they keep talking all the time about Me Too, and how much they hate Donald Trump. But when it really mattered, they stayed silent, which proved beyond all doubt that they're not really feminist. They're political activists. They're choosing a side because it helps them bash the other side, or it's just virtue signaling. It just makes them feel better. Because if they were real feminists, they would care. I'm talking every woman, doesn't matter, Palestinian, Arab, Muslim, Christian, Druze, Yazidis, doesn't matter what, you should care about that. So a lot of times when you're faced with something that's bluntly obvious in front of your face, but you don't call it out for what it is, it says more than anything else you've said. Right now, we don't need to listen to anything you've said. We need to listen to what you didn't say. Now, here's a story of another hero that tragically passed away. Let's hear it from his daughter.
Dead for being Jewish at a Hanukkah event on Bondi Beach. He had jumped up the second the shooting started. He managed to throw bricks. He was screaming at the terrorist and protecting his community. He was shot dead. If there was one way for him to go on this earth, it would be fighting a terrorist. There was no other way he would be taken from us. He went down fighting, protecting the people he loved the most.
And when you saw that footage of your father, what did you think of him performing those acts of heroism?
That's him. That's my dad, as I called him, my tati in Yiddish. That was him. Everyone that knew him knew the incredible man that was just too big for this world. The light that he added, his absolute immense and endless generosity, his sense of humor. He was just the most incredible person.
Who has failed you and your family and your father?
The Australian government, absolutely. They've had the warning signs for so long. The Jewish community has been begging and begging and begging for action, and we've fallen on deaf ears. Deaf ears.
You know, just looking at his image, and it looks like one of these people that you can just imagine that was probably a good, kind person. If you're ever wondering, you know, there's a video
You and your family and your
that you see the shooter kind of aiming and shooting, and there's a baby stroller on the floor, and someone falls down, and there's a guy standing there not moving, just staring at him, which is probably not the smarter thing to do, but he stood there and stared at him. That was him. And then when he had the chance, he went and he threw a brick, tried to hit him, so he was not letting it go. But the fact that he needs to come to that point where he needs to charge on an armed terrorist with a brick because the police is sitting there and just watching how he's being murdered, everyone's being killed around, and the cops, yes, there's a cop injured, okay, that's terrible, but what about the rest? Why aren't there more backup there? So the fact that in Australia, civilians had to be the ones to go and take matters to their own hand, not because the police wasn't there, but because the police was there but didn't do their job. Tells you a
My
lot.
dear father, Reuben Morrison, was shot dead. He was screaming at the tears one. He went down.
We're here at Bankstown Station.
So now here is an
Community
interesting.
has been begging and begging and begging for action, and we've fallen on deaf ears. Deaf ears.
This video here is of the terrorist, the son, the good kid as per his mom, where you can see him already been radicalized into, I don't want to call it radical Islam because he's speaking here average basic Islam, literally average basic Islam as it should be as per Islam. But you can see, and that is a problem with the Islamic religion, that the moment that you become a moderate Muslim, I'd call it, you are quite a big target right now to easily influence to go and do active terrorism because your Quran calls for it. Moderate. So the ones that you see in your cities that you say, yeah, my neighbor is a good Muslim, they're not even moderate, guys. They're like extremely light. Extremely light. They might be punished if they go to Muslim countries. So you need to put that in your mind. That is one of the bigger illusion that people have nowadays when they try to say, yeah, you know, you're talking nonsense. I know Muslims are great. They're my friend. They're moderate. Now, guys, they're not moderate. They're light, extremely light Muslims. And either deliberately or undeliberately, they're fooling you. It's like having someone fall into a farm full of red ants, and then he gets bitten by like 100 red ants everywhere. And he starts shouting, red ants are biting me. And then comes like a student next to him, you know, John, and says, yeah, but not all ants are biting you. You know, it's like, what? There's about 100 red ants. Yeah, but not all. There's like 3 that didn't bite you. You know, like your argument means nothing, man. Means nothing. And that is when it comes to moderate and radical Islam and the way that they perceive the world is a very hostile ideology towards the West. Have no place for the West. That is literally the definition of jihad, to enforce that rule of Sharia, to conquer the West and to control it economically and govern it, and basically enslave everyone that is Jews or Christian and either convert or kill the rest and take their women and children. Just describe to you the basic, you know, read it. I'm not making this up. Read it. I'm so fed up with people who say things without reading. So let's hear it from this guy, what he's saying about it.
Assalamualaikum, brothers. We're here at Bankstown Station, spreading dawah, doing the work of the prophets, continuing the work of the prophets. We're here to spread the message that Allah is one and Muhammad is the last messenger of Allah. Guys, spread dawah wherever you can. Spread the message that Allah is one wherever you can. Spread the message by pamphlets, whether it be one ayah, and whether it be raining, hailing, or clear sky. Allah will reward you for whatever actions you do in His cause. Inshallah, this will save you on the Day of Judgment, when everyone will be asking, where's the hope, where's this? This will come for you on the Day of Judgment. So come join us at Bankstown or in your own area and spread Islam. Assalamu alaikum.
So when your Quran tells you that you should do the work of God and go and kill the infidels, kill them. Go and kill the Jews, the Christians, the Druze, I don't know, kill them. There's like enough verses that say that. And then someone like this comes and says, I'm doing this because this is religiously my calling. Because I'm going to meet Allah one day and He's going to look at me and He's going to ask me, hey, did you go and kill these people I tell you to kill? And you're going to look down and says, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't. Why didn't you? Because, you know, he was my neighbor. He was nice. And you know, our kids went to the same school. And in their mind, you know, he will say, oh, so you allow them to corrupt you. And you know why? Because you listen to their music. Because you lived among their cities and lived among their ways, and they corrupted you. And that's why you are not a good Muslim. So someone with that mentality, That's why it's so easy to radicalize them. That's why it's so easy to radicalize them. Meanwhile, when they have this was a dawah, which is a calling to become a better Muslim. Another form of jihad is the jihad, the soft jihad, the jihad on a suit, where they put a suit and a tie and they try to sell you all kind of nonsense. Listen to this guy, what he says and thinks about terrorism.
What?
Was it an act of terrorism?
No, I'm not going to call it an act of terrorism.
What would you call it?
I'm going to call it part of the Palestinian resistance.
Right, so therefore legitimate.
Well, Palestinians have a right to fight for freedom.
Right, so why are you pretending you care about the deaths of civilians?
Can someone tell me how is it helping the Palestinian resistance cause? Going as a Pakistani who's never been to Palestine, never been to Israel, migrated to Australia, got an amazing life, better than he can get in any Muslim country that he came from almost. Well, definitely what he came from. And then you go to a Hanukkah festival, start shooting little girls and elderly. How is that helping liberate free Palestine? Seriously. Do you even know who that girl that you shot? Do you even know her preference, what she likes about life? What are her hobbies? What does she think about Zionism and Israel? You have an idea? Does she like Bibi or doesn't she like? Do you really know? You have no idea. You just shot a little girl. So this guy in a suit sitting there and saying that, yeah, it's justified. Palestinians have the right to resist. What kind of resistance are you talking about, man? You see what I'm saying? This is so hypocrite, and the fact that they say it publicly is because they know that people believe it. Meanwhile, people in Australia, I don't know how accurate that is, but at least we're hearing voices of people starting to wake up in that beautiful faraway island that usually is sheltered from the craziness of the world, but now you brought it inside and it's growing among you. He went on his own frustration rant. Let's hear it out.
I don't know if you guys can hear it. The siren and the helicopter flying around. Yeah, I do live in Bondi, and never in my life did I think this was even possible to happen in Australia. Never in my life did I think that someone could just waltz down in broad daylight onto the beach with rifles and start shooting into the crowd. I wasn't there, but I heard the gunshots from my apartment, and yeah, it sounded like fireworks going off. So initially I actually thought, who is this idiot that's sending off fireworks in broad daylight? You can't even see it. And then I start hearing cop cars driving by and helicopters coming in, and then I was like, and then a phone notification came up, and then I was like, I can't believe this, right? This is just, it's sometimes capitulation needs to end, If the good people needs to stand up for themselves. The government isn't doing the right things by the people that pays the tax. This is not Australia. This is not the country that I live in. Somehow, I get criticized for having an Australian flag, and yet you have people that can just walk in to a public beach in front of children, women, and start shooting in the crowd. I tried to get a camping knife. Some of you guys know I go camping sometimes. I lost my knife. Can't even get a camping knife for public safety. And yet, the government catastrophically failed to protect one of the most iconic, most highly visited tourist spots in the world. It's fucking disgraceful. I can't believe it. We need to stand up. The good people need to fucking stand up and take a stance against this shit. And if the government can't do it, get the fuck out of office.
The Iranian...
So, word. The man spoke the word there. He's literally talking the word, which is for a very long time have been kind of push down our mind that you shouldn't talk like this, you shouldn't share your opinion, you will get consequences, you lose your job, women won't want to date you, all kind of stuff that we're told to Western civilized freedom, democracy, freedom loving humans, that they shouldn't talk about it. But guys, if your government is not protecting you, and let's be honest, when you live in a dictatorship, yes, the people are slaves to the dictator, but when you live in democracy, the government is here to protect you. The government is here to serve you. Every elected in the government is a human like you, because we believe that all humans are equal. And if he's been elected, he got the honor to be in that office, then he have a time frame to do the right thing for you, for the people. And part of that is to ensure your safety. So if you come with a premises that we can't allow you to have weapons to protect yourself, okay, fair enough, because you're gonna protect us. Meaning that you're gonna make sure that you have smart people doing strategy and making sure, okay, what is the threat to our country? Obviously, Islam and jihad is a clear threat to Western civilization and democracy. Obviously, Free Palestine is an extreme threat. It's like literally a state of terrorists. Everybody with a little bit of intelligence can see that. Everybody with a little bit of, espionage in his country can actually figure that out. Like, it's not that it's hiding it. They're throwing gays out of rooftops. They're kidnapping women and children and little girls, selling for sex slaves. They're depriving their own people from human rights. They're stealing their own money to build tunnels of terrorism instead of hospitals. So it's clear to see what is happening in these failing Muslim countries. So if your government choose to allow people from these countries to your country, meanwhile not providing you the security to defend yourself, and even taking from you pocket knives, I don't know what, then that's a serious problem. That is a serious problem. And I think they just got used to it, that they can get along with it, without consequences for too long. They got used to that they can fool Western loving, freedom loving, democracy loving men and women by trying to shame you, that you won't even dare to rise up. Real questions. How are you protecting me? Like, seriously, because if you watch the beginning of the video, I shot this demonstration where they were shouting gas the Jews and all these stuff. What do you think is going to happen next? Is Australia going to be safe? I think I heard today only there was another suicide bombing threat in Australia, with like a weirdo walking around shouting stuff and saying you have a bomb on him, and they evacuated the whole building. This is just the beginning, guys. This is just the beginning. Now, one thing that they seem to have done maybe right
last night, and good riddance. Strange scenes at the airport.
Absolutely.
He says Aussies are safe now in Iran. Can he be trusted in any way?
No, in a word. And I hope he didn't slam the door on the way out, because it was a big decision by the government. No ambassador has been expelled from Australia in the post-war period. That says something about how significant this was. But this was an attack on Australian soil, orchestrated by a foreign power. Completely unacceptable, and we took appropriate, strong action.
So they're saying that, I think either the Mossad warned them about this, or told them later on, or their intelligence found out that this attack might have been orchestrated by Iran, connected or planned or maybe even trained by Iran, which is not a surprise. They've been trying to do that for a very long time, and if they did, that's the biggest success they had so far in a terrorist attack against the Jews, aside from the thousands of rockets and that they shot into Israel. Or October 7, you would say. Yeah, since October 7, this is the most horrific massacre of Jews that happened as of late. And it could have been way, way worse if it wasn't for these three heroes. These three heroes. The first one, Boris, I think was his name, that jumped with his wife and took down the guy, and then he got shot, buying precious time for everyone. And then this guy and the other religious guy, the rabbi, that got killed. Now, this is Ahmed al-Ahmed, and he recovered, and he gave a speech. Now, I'm already giving you a heads up. It's not going to be a William Wallace speech. It's not going to be, Russell Crowe from Gladiator speech. So don't expect something like mind-blowing. I wish it was, but it wasn't. It's a cute one. He might be still dosed on, medications, or in general, if you come from the Middle East and you grew up where I grew up, you realize that a lot of these people are not really the public speaker talkers. They're just really good people that do the right thing. but they're not the best, like, generals talkers. But let's hear it from him.
راسي كل الشباب والله يعطيكم الف عافيه والله ان شاء الله ما بنكفيكم الا بالافراح ولا تواخذونا
في عبد الله واحمد وكل
والله
الشباب
على
تحت.
راسي احمد وعبد الله وعلاء
He's from Syria, by the way.
الله حي الزلم بس والله ايش بدي اقول لكم مريت بمرحله الله بيعلم
والحمد لله وبس.
الحمد لله على كل شيء.
ايوه هاي احسن شيء.
كتر الله سعيكم يا شباب. امي
مو حكيت معه.
يا فلت الكبدي لا دعينا يا ايام.
حكينا معه.
الله يطولنا بعمرك وان شاء الله عرضي ان شاء الله.
وحج غسان الفردوس بيسلم
حج غسان على راسي الله يطولنا بعمرك يا حاج غسان وكتر الله سعيكم. دعونا بالشفاء دعونا الله ييسر علينا ويطلعنا من المحنه. سلمنا على بشر ويدير باله على حاله وعلى وجد الله يلم عليه العافيه.
This is so Arab. I mean, I love it, but it's so Arab. Instead of talking about, like, you got a chance, man, you're going to be on public TV, you can give a William Wallace speech right now that will change the world. And instead, you're talking about Ghassan and your uncle and your cousin and your uncle and say thank you to him. I think that's very Arab. Anyone who came from the Arab world knows that this is very, very typical Arab. Meanwhile, in the UK, I think, obviously, another Khalifa state, they're celebrating. Now, what do you think these guys are? If they celebrate this act, they literally support terrorism, guys. So, when are they going to do it? Just take a wild guess. When are they going to do it? Probably very soon. Bondi Beach, Sydney. That's what happened, guys, when you have these people running and spreading lies to you. By the way, Intifada is what they're talking about. We're going to keep this for another time. MI6 chief is warning that there's a big thing happening. No, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
One single danger, but an interlocking web of security challenges, military, technological, social, ethical even, each shaping the other in complex ways.
You don't say.
In a space between peace and war. This is not a temporary state or a gradual, inevitable evolution. Our world is being actively remade with profound implications for national and international security. Institutions which were designed in the ashes of the Second World War are being challenged, new blocs and identities forming and alliances reshaping. Multipolar competition in tension with multilateral cooperation.
Courtroom video.
Do you really need the MI6 to come and tell you that? Like, literally, every kid knows that. It's very simple. You allowed Islam into your countries. You're taking your countries down. You're destroying it from within. And then when the West gets weak, the whole world get unbalanced. And then powers like China and Russia feels more secure to do crazy stuff. And the world goes into chaos. And then you have World War III. It's like very, very simple. Anyone who played Risk can figure that out. Do you need the MI6 now? Only they realize that now. Come on, guys.
Video begins by showing Omar Mateen buying a ticket before walking into Pulse as club goers are enjoying Last Call. It's just before 2 a.m. Mateen then leaves the building but returns less than 10 minutes later and almost immediately opens fire into the main part of the club with his semi-automatic rifle.
The FBI now believes the massacre in San Bernardino was an act of foreign-inspired terrorism. Shortly before Saeed Farouk and his wife Tashfeen Malik opened fire, Malik took to her Facebook page to pledge her allegiance to ISIS. The attack left 14 people dead. They were among about 80 San Bernardino County Health Department workers who were holding a holiday celebration.
What the hell is that? Oh my God! Something blew up! Something blew up! Oh my God, something happened! Holy shit!
Say Major Nidal Malik Hassan opened fire. Hassan was carrying 2 handguns, a 5.7 millimeter pistol and a 357 Magnum.
Someone played Max Payne too much.
The processing center. The Army and the FBI are now combing Hassan's computer records, assessing his apparent attraction to inflammatory websites and this mosque in suburban Washington, one that also ministered to 2 of the September 11th hijackers, and who was once led by an imam who reportedly was investigated by the FBI.
Near the top of the World Trade Center said, "We're blanking dying," when asked what was happening, and hung
People
up.
don't learn
There
from
was
history, really.
screaming and
Don't learn
yelling
from
in the
history.
background,
Mosques
and a
are the
follow-up
best way
call
to
was
get
not
people
answered.
radicalized to
Today we've
commit
had a
acts of
national
terrorism.
tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
So this is just a short reminder to Americans what is coming next. You guys wanted Intifada. This is a teaser trailer. Apparently you guys have more than 18,000 Al-Qaeda, Syrian, Pakistani, Afghani, jihadists, even more, as sleeping cells in the United States. This is not coming from me. It's coming from officials and people from the intelligence in the United States that gave a warning. My last video, I talked about it. So America is definitely in for a show. Sadly, Australia is in for a show. UK is in for a show. And I tell you what, when you play with fire, you get burned. When you bring a snake in your sleeping bag, you're going to get bitten. I just made that up. It's a good one, right? So, long story short, the West is going to have 2026 is going to be the year that the West is going to pay for its stupidity. That people would learn that woke is not cute and it have consequences. People would learn that letting evil people or stupid people make decisions and policies, it's not like playing Sims or computer games of, just do restart, start over again. There's consequences. And allowing Islam coming unchecked to your society, 2026 will probably be one of the most crucial years for people to learn that mistake. Sad to say, but I see it coming. I see it coming. October 7 was an amplifier for hatred. Corona before, COVID-19, all these things were amplifiers, bringing the world to this like labor that is happening right now. And this year, every country that showed alliance with Palestine, with the Palestinian Muslim Brotherhood movement, is gonna learn the hard way what a mistake they did. Now the question is, will they wake up or will they completely collapse? That's that's gonna be the 2026 film. We're gonna figure it out by 2017. 2017. I hope that we will wake up. So just want to thank everybody that came and joined until now. I'm gonna leave you up with this word of thought. If you have a Jewish friend, now is a good time to tell them that you care about them. It's a good time to remind them that they're not alone. I am personally inviting my Jewish neighbors that are living around me. I know them already. They're being invited to my house, and we're gonna light candles. We're gonna light candles together. We're gonna have a nice dinner. I'm gonna do a puppet show for the kids to teach them about the story of Hanukkah. And I feel that this is my way as a non-Jew to show my love and solidarity with the Jews, and to remind them that they're not alone. They will not walk alone. And I think that's the right thing to do. They are celebrating a holy day of light. They are celebrating a holy day of coexistence, a real one actually, and a holy day of hope and triumph of light over darkness. And I think one of the best ways to show that light in a world that is full of darkness is by standing beside the people of light, the people of the book, and reminding them that they're not alone in their time of need. So my recommendation is, if you have a Jewish friend, a Jewish friend, just give them a call, send them a message. Hey, brother, I'm with you. Doesn't matter how the world is going crazy, you're not alone. That means way more than you can imagine. Stay safe. See you next time. And thank you so much, Miknamaradawanf. Miknamaradawanf. Cool name. Thank you so much. Highly appreciated. Want to remind everybody, if you want to support the channel, go and check my Patreon. And don't forget to do the like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, Phoenix. You did a great job at your first day as a moderator in the channel. My man, he just got promoted to be a moderator. He didn't even know it. I just basically put him a moderator without even asking him. And he just jumped in, reporting for duty, and went in full on. So thank you so much, my brother from Lebanon. It's beautiful to see that we have people here from all over the world, from countries that they tell us that are enemies. That's the hope that I have. When you have people from Syria, from Lebanon, from other places around the world that, I grew up knowing that, they're my enemies. They want to kill me. And they probably grew up thinking the same thing. But here we are. True love transcends borders. True humanity transcends generational hate and indoctrination. So amen to that, and I wish we all would have friends from countries that are not friends of ours, but real friends, not like, fake ones. Stay safe. See you next time.